This is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to episode 297 of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, and as you can see on the screen, we have the Backlash from Tampa from last week. We're going to go through some of the matches and what happened at the end of the show. Plus, we're going to be talking a little bit more about what has happened during the week when it comes to WWE and the certain people that they have right now in storylines that make me want to think like some of these guys who came to WWE, most of them are seeing the damn lights, the lights above the ring and whatnot. So we definitely going to jump on this, guys. And you know me, I'll keep it real. I may ruffle some feathers today, but it is what it is. I keep it gangster. I keep it real. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. So let's start off how Backlash started last week with Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. Now, the finish of the match was good. You definitely didn't want Seth Rollins winning that match because you're trying to push Bron Breakker to the next level. I mean, this guy should have been already in the next level years ago. You know what I'm saying? This guy, every time they were pushing him, something stops him. You know what I'm saying? They gave him the Intercontinental belt the first time, and he only had it for 51 days. He wanted it a second time. He had it another 51 days and whatnot. So right now, when it comes to Bron Breakker, the ending of the match from last week against Seth Rollins was the right call. Now, the only thing that I don't understand is why is Seth Rollins trying to do wrestling moves that we seen from another wrestler that is in AEW. There was a move he made. I guess he tries to. They were trying to do like a backdrop, but he ended up like trying to grab him, and he did a Will Ospreay move, and he botched it. Now, right away, you have people a couple of days later trying to put videos of Seth Rollins when he was in Ring of Honor doing the same thing. Okay, that's fine. He was doing it way before Will Ospreay, but right now, Seth shouldn't be doing stuff like that to impress who? Most of the people that you see in wrestling right now, or the fans, don't really care what you do. They just want to see a match. You know what I'm saying? Copying moves from another wrestler, it's not going to help you. It's the way it is. You know what I'm saying? So as we saw that night, I mean the match. But the good thing about this now this kind of puts after Seth Rollins got pinned by Bron Breakker. Now they're trying to make division again, trying to build it again because after Bron Breakker got hurt, Bronson Reed was out. So you only have Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and it made them look real bad, even though they are the tag team champions. And right now it seems like the Street Profits are trying to get a title shot with the division, but it seems that Seth Rollins, his obsession with Bron Breakker and division is costing matches or putting guys from Street Profit in danger. Because if we saw it, and I'm not blind for what I saw Monday Night Raw, where it looked like, or not it looked like, Bron Breakker was about to spear Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins put Darryl Dawkins in front of him. I think that's his name, Dawkins. He put him in front of him, and he got speared. Now, his partner did not like what Seth Rollins did, and he told him, "I don't trust you. You say you was not going to get in our way." So now there's some type of beef with Seth Rollins and the Street Profits. Now, are we seeing this, and now are they still going to end up getting together and whatnot? Is this a storyline where I doubt that WWE does long storylines, but if they smart, they would carry this over the summer and have these four individuals of division against Seth Rollins, the Street Profit, and you add somebody else into the mix and whatnot. And then you have it at War Games. But as you saw last year, the way they did the War Games last year, it was freaking horrible. You know what I'm saying? So, it's crazy because it's kind of leading, what's going to happen next, which is good though, because now you're still wondering if the Street Profits still trust Seth Rollins. But we all know Seth Rollins. If you look back at Seth Rollins' history with partners, they always been he betrayed somebody. He did it to Roman Reigns. He did it to who the hell he did it to? I forgot. He done it to a lot of people. So he is not to be trusted. He says it. I'm not to be trusted. But that's a very interesting situation. The next match was Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn for the United States title. Now, this was a continuation of the whole gingerbread situation. Now, this is sad because in a way, Backlash was Saturday, and Friday, that's Friday Night SmackDown. And throughout the whole Friday Night SmackDown, they had this stupid segment of the gingerbread man's funeral. And a lot of podcasters and a lot of other people were making fun of this because they're like, how in the world is WWE, when they got a go-home show, pay-per-view or PLE, whatever you want to call it, they have this actual match going on and whatnot. Actually not going on, but this segment going on where the gingerbread man ended up to be Little Yachty. You know what I'm saying? And, this is the go home show. You even saw Ray Phoenix in the crowd. In this supposedly funeral, in which I'm going to talk about some of the wrestlers that were once in AEW and right now they're in WWE and they're all looking at the lights. And I'm going to get to that. But before I get to that, this was the match. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the United States title. The match was decent. Now, I had a problem with a couple of things that happened in the match. Little Yachty got involved several times in this match. And Sami Zayn did wrestling moves on this guy, and he did not sell. He even got a haluva kick by Sami Zayn outside, and Little Yachty did not sell it. After the match, he was walking around like he never got touched. Okay, he never got touched, which is crazy. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, you know what I'm saying? You're in there as part of the match. You're supposed to sell these moves. Or did somebody forget to tell Little Yachty that he needed to sell if he was going to take this bumps? So it didn't make no sense. That was like, to me, the only problem with this. Even though I still say, the fact that they gave Sami Zayn the belt and then they took it away from him very quick and gave it to Trick Williams. But then again, if you look at Trick Williams was very, very, very popular with the WWE universe. His entrance, everything. But I don't like this Little Yachty shit that he got going. Because again, Little Yachty was in his corner last week at Backlash, and he did not sell the haluva kick. He got hit, he went down, but he didn't sell the move. So if you're going to have these wrestlers or these entertainers coming into the wrestling scene and they're going to take bumps, somebody must tell them that they got to sell it. Because Little Yachty got hit with a haluva kick and he did not sell it and whatnot. Even though Trick Williams ended up winning the match, even though Little Yachty got involved. So it's weird because Little Yachty and Trick Williams, they're supposed to be the heel and Sami Zayn the favorite, and it's the other way around. You got Sami Zayn being the heel now, which in a way it's leading now that Sami Zayn is crashing out. We saw that yesterday where he confronted Nick Aldis and asked Nick Aldis for another United States title shot. Nick Aldis went and told him, no, you cannot have another title shot because now you have to earn it. He said, you already got your title shot. Sami Zayn crashed out. He said, well, all the things I've been through in WWE and all the things I've gone through WWE throughout the years, you telling me now I have to earn a shot? So right there, it tells you right there that Sami Zayn is not going to win the belt, the world title, no time soon. The whole thing about them going to Saudi and giving the belt to him, it's not going to happen and whatnot. And right now, as you look at the world title in the SmackDown brand, What is Cody Rhodes doing with this world title? He's about 3-time champion now. He's a 3-time champion. They got him with Gunther, which makes no sense to me. Gunther, who's supposed to be in Raw, all of a sudden now he's getting a title shot against Cody and whatnot. And it's just, I don't know. It doesn't make no sense to me when it comes to all that. How a guy from Raw, comes to SmackDown, challenges the world champion, and now, as of last night, you saw that he's gonna get a shot at Cody. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, to me, the way they doing all this is nonsense. But I'm gonna get back to that and whatnot with the whole Gunther situation. Then we have probably the most stupidest segment I ever seen. And I might go into a rant about this because how is it that now these WWE Universe fans are so in love with Danhausen? When a couple of years ago, when Danhausen was in AEW, no one gave a rat's ass about Danhausen. They always say, why is Danhausen there? He's a comedic comic. What is he doing there? He's garbage. He's this, he's that. And name callings were said through the whole time in the during his time in AEW. I had people who say, "Oh, I don't like Danhausen," and I told them I like Danhausen because Danhausen could wrestle. The only problem wasn't AEW; they never barely put him to wrestle. I think I saw him wrestle live. I forgot who he wrestled, and he lost real quick, 3 minutes and whatnot. I think it was a dark match, or it was one of those dark AEW dark and whatnot. But again, if you think about it, Danhausen was not even thought of in AEW. Now they're gonna come and say, "Oh, they fumbled the ball." AEW fumbled. The one thing people don't understand that AEW, WWE, when it comes to gimmicks, they not the same. AEW is about professional wrestling. You barely gonna see comedic, wrestlers shit like that. Except Orange Cassidy does it well, and people still like him. Danhausen, they had this match a bunch of little midgets running around in the ring against Kid Wilson and The Miz. First of all, they were like, "Oh, that's little mini mascarada, whatever from AAA." What it wasn't that mini wrestler from AAA. That wasn't him because the guy was a little taller. No pun intended, but it wasn't mini whatever his name is. Okay, because the other one from AAA is way shorter. It looked like a piece of bread with feet and whatnot. So the whole gimmick, this whole match, why would you even put that? But it goes to show you where TKO and WWE is at. They think this was fucking horrible. This messed up the whole show. You already had 2 good matches to begin the pay-per-view, and you start and you just go and mess it up in middle of the fucking show with this garbage, because that's what it is, garbage. I'm sorry, but Danhausen, all he's there is just to sell shirts. And I mean, how long before people get tired of him? Oh, you're getting cursed. Really? Are we doing this? Now, you're probably going to say, "Oh, but he used to do it in AEW." Nothing the way WWE is doing now. Because they shoving this guy down our throats so we can like him and buy his merchandise. Because that's what he is all about. Merch. That's the difference between AEW and WWE. They worry, AEW may not have great merchandise, but they give you good wrestling. So you rather have midgets wrestling, and then to wrestle Kid Wilson and The Miz, and you had this midget beating the crap out of Kid Wilson, throwing him around the ring. Come on. Who are you fooling, man? Let's be realistic. You know what I'm saying? It was just garbage. It messed up the pay-per-view because you had a great match between Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins. You had a good match between Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, even though Little Yachty didn't sell the Kaluva kick from Sami Zayn. But are you serious? That ruined everything. Everything through the whole show. Now, I think the match that stole the show was Iyo Sky and Asuka. This match was a back and forth between these two women and whatnot, and I loved it. Now, you did hear the fans in the back asking, we want Kyrie. Everybody's chanting for Kyrie Zayn. People were thinking about maybe she'll show up. Maybe she'll appear because this was part of that storyline. And it did not happen and whatnot. Now, Asuka tried to throw the blue mist on Iyo Sky, but Iyo Sky grabbed, I forgot his name, Wade Barrett's pad and blocked it. And it was a great match. That match stole the match for the night. It did. And it was a great match. You couldn't ask for anything better. But the weird part was how Iyo Sky beat Asuka, and Asuka all of a sudden hugged Iyo Sky. Now, people were saying, and the internet blew up, talking about it, Iyo Sky probably is leaving WWE. Now, we don't know really what happens behind the scene. Now, there was words going around, there was rumor going around that TKO wanted their talent to take a 50% less money from their current contract. Is Iyo Sky one of those girls or one of those people that they told her, we want to take a 50% cut? And she probably said no. And she probably said, give me time to think about it. And let me go to Japan. Now, the word around is that she went back to Japan to personal reasons. Now, most likely, they probably told her, we'll give you, can you take a 50% cut? And she needs time to think about it. Either that, or she just want to let her contract expire. I don't know how many years she has signed and whatnot, but I won't be surprised if we get some type of report that she's no longer with WWE, that she let her contract, expire. She did show up at Raw this week and whatnot, real quick, and that's it. But if you think about it, that's the only thing I could think of. I mean, why would she do that? Like, gives this girl a hug. She just finished trying to throw a blue mist in her face, and then the match is over. She's hugging her. They all this nonsense. So, and then it blew up Saturday night because everybody's wondering, is she leaving WWE for good? Is she retiring? I could put my money on this because the rumors going around that, that TKO is cutting the contract and making actually talent take 50% off, 50% cut. I won't be surprised if they probably approached her and asked her, are you willing to take a 50% cut? And she's probably saying, give me time. Let me talk to my lawyers and whatnot. And maybe she's trying to see maybe that she don't have enough time. She probably got a little time in her contract, and she's done. You know what I'm saying? Because then on Tuesday there was people who were saying, Asuka is going back to Japan to take care of some family business or personal business. We all know, they're not gonna, especially WWE and TKO, they're keeping everything to themselves. They're not trying to expose that to the fans and whatnot. So the last match. Definitely, I gotta talk about this. But before we go to I want to leave this the last part because this makes no sense. But we saw the Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu, which was the main event and whatnot. And this was a good match and whatnot. And the best part of that whole match was the fact that Roman hit Jacob Fatu with his Superman punch, and Jacob got up and won. Now they're making Jacob like this unstoppable guy. They could have took it to the next level. The next level would have been, don't let Roman pin him. Have Jacob lose by disqualification. Let him lose his head. Does it not have Jacob get pinned and then he goes off? You know what I'm saying? It didn't make no sense because now we all know that Roman Reigns could pin Jacob Fatu. And if he's trying to make this man unstoppable, the first thing you don't do is get him pinned. It's the same thing what people were talking about this week. Both Bully Ray say something about how Brian Cage came back after 14 months, but you let Kevin Knight beat him. And he's right in a way because Brian Cage came back looking great. And he's right in a way. Kevin Nash should have not pinned it. It could have been a disqualification or something. Same thing could be said with the Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu could have lost the match by disqualification without getting pinned. But they did it backwards. But they get to show you how WWE thinks and the booking. Because now you want to push Jacob Fatu to this point where now he's unstoppable. He could beat 3 people up. He took out the whole bloodline on Monday. He took out the Usos and he took out Roman Reigns. Okay? Because now he's this guy who nobody can stop him and blah, blah, blah. They should have done that in the beginning. And I'm sure people out here right now online could probably agree with me with this because it makes more sense. It's going to make it more interesting because now everybody's like, damn, is Roman going to lose to Jacob and whatnot? You know what I'm saying? Possibilities, you know what I'm saying? Make it more interesting. But now they're going to have another match at Clash of Italy and whatnot. So, I mean, I could say it doesn't make sense. It would make sense if he would have not lost by pinfall. He could have took a disqualification. Why not take this disqualification? Roman's not going to get hurt as far as him losing or winning by disqualification. He's not, his stock is not going to go down. It's going to be like, it's going to make it more interesting for the wrestling fans. They're going to be like, well, wow, Roman Reigns hit him with a Superman punch. My man got up at 1. You know what I'm saying? He can't pin him. He can't stop him. It wouldn't have went that way, but then again, they already had messed up Jacob Fatu. They messed up Jacob Fatu a couple of years ago when he lost to Solo Sikoa in a cage for the United States title. You know what I'm saying? And then they try to reenact what he did in MLW, jumping from the top of the cage. You know what I'm saying? Like, the reenactment is just silly to me when it comes to that. So, but if you wanted to build him up again to this monster, for them, it was supposed to for them to have him lose to Roman Reigns by disqualification because no one gets hurt. He really don't care. Jacob Fatu is not going to lose anything if he loses by disqualification. So same thing with Roman Reigns. He's not going to, his stock is not going to go down. It would have made it better because now the Clash of Italy, when they faced up again, now everybody's wondering, can he beat him? Can Roman Reigns beat Jacob Fatu? And they, you know what I'm saying? And it would have been more interesting, not have fucking Roman Reigns beat him, and then now you want him to go crazy and psychotic and then beat the shit out of Roman Reigns and the same night, and then 2 nights later he goes and take out the whole bloodline. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. It makes no sense. And a lot of people may disagree with it, but that is the proper way. To me, it's the proper way if you want to build Jacob Fatu to this unstoppable monster and whatnot. But again, they already killed that 2 years ago when he first came into WWE, when they had him feuding with Solo Sikoa, and he had his match with Solo Sikoa inside the cage, and he lost to Solo Sikoa. And then they try to reenact what he did in MLW, jumping from the top of the cage. And even then, I don't think he did the cage move the right way. Or he did it, I think, second row, some shit like that. But that goes to show you. Now, the craziest stuff out of that whole show, besides the fact that the whole Danhausen shit was garbage, John Cena came out to make an announcement. And everybody was worried about, what he's going to do. Is he bought stocks from WWE and this and this and that. He came out with the most dumbest announcement I have heard. I thought I was drunk because he was talking about the John Cena tournament. We're going to have wrestlers from Evolve, NXT against the main roster guys, and the WWE fans gets to vote. But if the guy loses, he could still be the John Cena Classic or John Cena tournament winner. It just didn't make no damn sense. So after seeing this shit for the 2 or 3 times just to get the shit right, this is a bootleg version of the AEW Continental Classic. But they're putting fans to vote. So let's say, for example, if you're a Kid Wilson fan and this guy loses every week, you could still vote him in to win the John Cena tournament. Does that make any sense? This is all WWE and TKO trying to get the fans who they probably lost during the WrestleMania season and whatnot to make them come back to watch WWE. Because if you look at this backlash that happened, from 1 to 5, I give it a 3.5. And the reason I give it a 3.5 because they messed it up with that fucking Danhausen shit. And then what makes it more messed up was when they had John Cena announce this stupid tournament and whatnot. So he said he's putting his name into this tournament and whatnot. And Cena retired. Why are they? This is like the third pay-per-view that we've seen Cena back. Why is he everywhere now? TKO is desperate. And many people will say, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. TKO is desperate. They don't know what they're doing. Especially now, you don't see CM Punk on Monday Night Raw. I think they're going to do the European tour. So CM Punk is not going to be the European tour. We're not seeing AJ Lee no more, probably. She's done and whatnot. And if you look at that women's division, that shit looks horrible. Okay. It just, they have the tag team champion, Brie Bella and Paige, nostalgia tag team champions. That's what I call them. Because at the end of the day, it looks like Roxanne and Raquel may win those tag team titles soon. And then with the help with Liv Morgan, right now Stephanie Raquel is hurt. So I see that Jade Cargill is back and now she's feuding with Charlotte Flair. You know what I'm saying? That should have been done a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Rhea Ripley is in the middle of a feud with Jordan Jace and her group and whatnot. See, and they brought all these people from NXT up and whatnot. But the question is, are they going to be the type of people that you're going to go and be like, that's the one, I want to see this every week? The only guy from the whole group right there that came up from the NXT that still gets a loud reaction is Trick Williams and Obafemi. And the Obafemi challenge as of late, you can't be doing this every week. WWE just embarrassed the Garza. And I'm hearing the Garzas left. The Garzas are done with WWE from what I'm hearing. So you took two guys who were AAA tag team champions, and you had Obafemi embarrass them in the ring, make them look foolish, only to let them go, oh, they done with WWE. So Obafemi, Trick Williams, those two guys are going to be big and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But it all comes down how WWE uses them. Because all you have to do is just look at some of the wrestlers that WWE is using, and they're not using them to their full potential. So let's go to the first guy, because, this week I was having a conversation and people were telling me that I shouldn't complain about WWE. I'm going to complain about WWE because I've been watching WWE since 1974. Okay. And I've seen every era that company has had. So I got every right, because the thing has changed now that TKO will have no clue what they're doing. They extended the contract to the Triple Nose, who don't know what he's doing either. And and every week the show sucks. And if you look at WWE as of late, everybody got a damn mask. Okay. The Grande Americano Starbucks. That's what I call them. The Grande Americano Starbucks. You got one in Mexico, which is Kaiser, who is getting over big time in AAA. Then you got Gabe Kidd. Not Gabe Kidd. I'm sorry. Chad Gable. I don't know why I say Gabe Kidd. Chad Gable. And then you got the Creed brothers with masks. So then to top it off, they want to act like they know how to treat Mexican wrestlers. The only Mexican wrestler that I know that has done great is Penta, who's the Intercontinental Champion right now, which he will lose the belt to Ethan Page on Saturday Night Main Event. That's going to happen. Ray Phoenix, that's one guy that I laugh, because Ray Phoenix thought that when him and Penta went to Conan and decided that they were going to leave AEW because they wanted more money, they weren't too happy, they felt that done everything in AEW, they listened to Conan. Now, forward 2 years later, Conan's not around no more. Ray Phoenix right now is not doing jack. Hey, hello, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. I will appreciate it. But Ray Phoenix has been looking at the lights since day one. Okay. And to top it off, we thought that when he came in to WWE, him and Penta were going to be a tag team. And apparently WWE doesn't want to do that. I don't know why. Maybe because they probably embarrassed the whole division with the way the Lucha Brothers wrestle. And, because they had great matches in AEW with the Young Bucks. And we remember that cage match between them two in 2022 and whatnot. No, they separated them. Penta's having a great. I can say he succeeded. He's been succeeding in WWE with his things that he's going on. He's Intercontinental Champion. But for how long, we don't know. But Ray Phoenix, he popped out in the gingerbread funeral. Doing what? And they had the balls this week to talk about, oh, can I get a chance? He wants a chance. WWE is not going to give you no chance. And it's funny because, again, WWE has had a bunch of wrestlers under mask. The Creed brothers, they didn't know what to do with them. They put them under mask. Chad Gable should have beat Gunther a couple of years ago when he was the Intercontinental Champion. Got him under a mask. Kaiser under a mask. Pete Dunne under a mask. They got all these people under a mask. It's crazy. I got a list of people here that I want to talk about. Tama Tonga, first of all. They got rid of his brother, Tonga Law. These are the Gorillas of Destiny, who were 7-time IWGP champions. And Tama Tonga, as of late, I don't know if this is a punishment because he was recording stuff behind the scenes and they put it online. But every other week, I see him looking at the lights. He got pinned by Damian Priest yesterday and whatnot. So because he's feuding with Hikuleo or Tonga Law or Haka Law, whatever they call him, but I call him Hikuleo, he's taking the pin. So Tonga Law right now, he's what? You know what I'm saying? This whole MFT is over with because you don't have JC Martel, which is Jeff Cobb. You don't have Jeff Cobb. You don't have Tonga Law. You only got Hikuleo, Tama Tonga, and Solo Sikoa. That's it. Those are your people you got. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy because these are people that WWE decided to bring in, right? Because it's with the thought that they were going to feud with the bloodline, whatever, and it was fun during that time. Now, where are we going with this? And if you saw last night, also one thing that has me scared is Royce Keys, Powerhouse Hobbs. They put Royce Keys in a situation in the world title picture already. And he has only been there 4 months. And even active 2 or 3 months. And they already got him in the middle of a situation where he right now has some type of beef with Solo Sikoa. And Solo Sikoa cost them the opportunity for the world title. And Gunther beat him. And now Gunther gets a shot at Cody Rhodes. My thing is, why are we even doing all this when we already knew that Gunther was going to get a shot at Cody when Cody got put in a sleeper hole? Why add Royce Keys to this dimension? It doesn't make no sense. So now you got him in there. He's about to start feuding with Solo Sikoa and whatnot. And I'm saying to myself, I see this is not going to go nowhere. Because anybody get into a feud with Solo Sikoa and his group doesn't go nowhere. You don't believe me? Look what happened to the YS6. They got into a feud with the MFT, and next thing you know, Solo Sikoa lost 2 of his members, and the whole Wyatt family is gone. Hey, what's up, Grandmaster? Appreciate you coming through and whatnot. If you're in here and you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate if you subscribe. I will gladly appreciate it. And whatnot, and share this with your friends and whatnot. Thank you for coming in. So yeah, anybody who gets into a feud with Solo Sikoa and whatnot and his group are not going nowhere. Because if you saw the whole MFT and the YS6 feud, it didn't lead to nothing. It didn't lead to anywhere. The topic was Jacob Fatu loses, but Roman Reigns pays the price. And I was talking about how they decided to have Jacob Fatu lose by pin. when I feel like me personally, if you're trying to build Jacob Fatu like this monster, right, then you need to have him lose by disqualification because you're going to have another match at Clash of Italy. So he lost by pinfall. The only great part of that match was when Roman Reigns hit him with the Superman punch and he decided to get up at the count of one, which made it awesome because now this is something that Roman Reigns has never faced. You know, well, original bloodline, of course, is these guys. I don't know about the new bloodline. I mean, do you think they're gonna be a new bloodline? I mean, who is it gonna be in there? I mean, I don't see Solo Sikoa in there and whatnot. Jacob Fatu, he might have Powerhouse Hobbs as part of his group because them two had a little powwow a couple of weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? But the new bloodline, which they call it a new bloodline, but I call it the MFT. What I was talking about, when they get into matches, feuds with people, they are not going nowhere. And I'm seeing right now that already Solo Sikoa and Royce Keys are going to have some type of feud. And where it's going to lead? Nowhere. It's going to lead to nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And another guy that people say that John Devil wanted Jacob to win at Clash. Then when they pull Roman from all the booking in June. Actually, no. I mean, listen, you can listen to a lot of these dirt sheets because that was the report. And you're right. They were talking about they were pulling him out of June and whatnot. But now they're saying they're not. That's not. They're saying that he's going to be in book dates. He said that the Endeavors changed it, and Andre booked all of Roman's date in June, except for Night of Clash, Night of Champions in Saudi. I mean, when was the last time we saw Roman Reigns and Night of Champions in Saudi? I don't think he went the first time either. I don't think so. But that's very interesting. But from Endeavor TKO, there was reports during the week that how you call it, that they had pulled him out of all the June shows. And there was another report that he was pissed off because TKO was trying to get cut his salary to 50%. And then then came the report that he was not going to be in June. But I'm like, how's that if he's going to be in Clash in Italy? And to top it off, they going to Europe next month. You know what I'm saying? Roman refused to work Saudi the first time, and now again. I mean, I don't understand why, but Zidane, why? I don't understand that part because you're the champion. You're supposed to wrestle. It's called Night of Champion for a reason, unless they're doing a five title matches like they do. Roman signed a new contract, and he was not asked to take 50% pay cut. Where you heard that at? Because I haven't heard anything him signing a new contract. Not at all. At all. So I don't know. You could be right, but I haven't read nothing. A Fightful hasn't reported. Meltzer has not reported that I know of. If I missed it, then I missed it. But I know that he is. I know WWE is going to be in Europe next month, the ending of this month, all the way to June, because even CM Punk is not going to be in the Europe tour either. So I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, they're still going to get a lot of reaction in Europe because when they go to Europe, the fans over there go crazy and they get a lot of what is called a lot of heat, crowd heat. People get into it, whatever. So it's gonna, and you think that the people are going crazy for over the match, and they're not really going crazy over the match. They're just taking over the shows. That's what McMahon used to hate going to Europe because the fans will take over. You know what I'm saying? So. And Rusev, before I go, Rusev's another guy. Someone told me that Rusev, that even though Rusev is taking loss, that, is helping the younger talent. Maybe yes, maybe no. But remember, Rusev, when he left AEW, what was the rumor going around about Rusev? That he did not want to get pinned in the Continental Classic by no one. So that's why he did not participate in the Continental Classic. So he left for over a month and a half or two, and then he had that match with Andrade, and then he left AEW. Now he's in WWE, and every time I turn around, he's another one looking at the lights, and whatnot. Javon Evans pinned him this week, and which to me, listen, if you're pushing the talent, then you can't tell me you're happy because now you're pushing the talent. It's either that or you was in AEW thinking you was the biggest thing since sliced bread, and you thought, no, I was in WWE, I don't get pinned. Your guys are minor leaguers. That's the only thing I could think of. But because I don't know. Punk is injured, not medically clear, similar to Randy, who's also not medically clear. What's up with all these guys getting hurt though? Punk is a walking injury. Punk is always injured. You know what I'm saying? I have no words for him. But Randy Orton, yeah, I haven't seen Randy since WrestleMania. So, and I'm hearing that they're thinking about bringing back house of shows. So if they do that, that's a little better because then you don't have all these injuries. People will wrestle and get used to, the pounding and all that. But, this is WWE, TKO. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I have every right to bitch and moan about WWE because at the end of the day, they should be doing better. With the talent that they have and the roster they have, they should be putting better storylines, better shows, and they just seem not to care. And they don't care. They don't care because they're in the $4 billion debt, they're under the red and whatnot. Yet they're going around showing, oh, look how much money I made. I made $28 million this year. I made this and I made that. But meanwhile, they're charging wrestling fans a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because that should not happen. We're the fans. We make a lot of these wrestlers, and their mindset is, oh, you want to see this? You got to pay for this. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But anyway, this is it for me today, guys. Let me know what you think about this whole thing with Jacob Fatu losing cleanly instead of him getting disqualified, losing by disqualification to make the match between him and Roman Reigns are more exciting. So the next time they wrestle, you know what I'm saying, where they go, because they did this shit ass backwards. You had the guy lose to Roman Reigns and then went berserk, beat the shit out of him after the show. Then the next 2 nights later, he takes out the whole bloodline. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Is Asuka coming back? We don't know. I mean, she retiring? We don't know. So what's next for Iyo Sky? We don't know. What else we talked about? What else we covered? The Danhausen is getting boring. Obafemi challenge should stop. They should just pull him in there with somebody that's going to give him a run for his money and whatnot. Overall, WWE's got to get this shit together because now I think the next show, what is the next show? Money in the Bank? But anyway, it is what it is. I mean, the show wasn't bad. Again, from 1 to 5, 5 being very, very good, I gave Backlash 3.5. All because they put that stupid match with Danhausen and the John Cena announcement, which was fucking horrendous. That whole shit about tournament, whatever. Since when WWE does tournaments? See, if they're talking about, oh, WWE's not looking at AEW. Yes, you are. You're looking at AEW, see what they're doing. I mean, you heard the report that some WWE higher up is talking about that AEW is not going to get another TV contract. How do you know that? You know what I'm saying? And then it had some asshole going on social media, fucking spazzing out over AEW and the TV deal. We went through this shit 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? What up, OPC? Same to you. Feliz sábado, baby. Are you at work? Damn, bro. That's like pulling in that money, kid. You know what I'm saying? Hope you have a great day, brother. So, they again, they need to get their shit together and make better shows and do what they got to do. Because at the end of the day, people are going to get bored. And again, the announcement that some higher up in WWE say, oh, AEW's not getting a TV deal. We went through this shit 2024. I believe it was 2024. We went through the same shit. Oh, WWE's not going to get AEW's not going to get it. WWE's going to be in WBD. All this nonsense. And they ended up getting more than what they thought they were going to get. So right now, you can't believe nothing that any of these clowns, supposedly journalists, supposedly like the Wrestling Observer, like I said, 5 Foot Select, I fuck with Sean Ross Sapp. You know what I'm saying? 5 foot like Meltzer, fucking Ringside, whatever. All these clowns, they talking all this nonsense, and people ranting and raving and losing their fucking mind because people are correcting them, because they want to make AEW look bad. Don't listen to none of them. When you see the report and it happens, then you know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what the social media has become. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. But anyway, that is it for me today, guys. If you want to follow me on social media. We're on Twitter, the X, Facebook, Instagram, and also on TikTok. Also, guys, if you are want to know of our merchandise, we have merch at tcwr.veryinkpressive.com. That's tcwr.veryinkpressive.com. We got t-shirts, hats, and hoodies. You can go check that out and whatnot. And of course, subscribe. If you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe. We're now gunning for 2,000 subscribers. We hit the 1,000 mark. We're up to 1,200 already subscribers. We're trying to get to 1,500 and even more, 2,000. We just hit the 1 million mark viewer in this channel. And I want to thank everybody who supported for the last 7 years. Also, this show is part of the Debate Network. We're part of the Debate Network. Check out the Circle of Debate. Every day they're online doing watch-alongs. Mondays, Monday Night Raw. Tuesday, NXT. Wednesday, AEW Dynamite. Thursday, TNA Wrestling Impact. And then Friday, SmackDown and whatnot. So they always online. And then the pay-per-views. They're all online, whatever. Shout out to my boy Redeemer. Shout out to OPC. The Circle of Debate again. We're part of the Debate Network, so check us out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, definitely 2K is next. So shout out to everybody and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Also check out our audio podcast. We have on Wednesdays, actually Thursdays, the AEW Dynamite recap. And I do that every Thursday and whatnot. We download it on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, any audio podcast and whatnot. You know, any audio podcast that you guys like to listen to your show. Rhonda's writing tonight. Definitely gotta check that out. Rhonda is funny. Oh damn. Oh, I probably could see it in the bar. I'm gonna see it at the bar tonight. And so anyway, so that is it for me, from guys. Again, thank you for everything and whatnot. Again, subscribe to the Chokeslam Wrestling Report audio podcast or the YouTube channel. So now there's 2 ways to get our stuff. So if you can't see it through YouTube, you can hear it through the audio podcast. So thanks again, everybody, for coming in online. Shout out to my boy OPC and whatnot. Thank you for Grandmaster Solos and whatnot, coming in, showing some love, and to Axe Jala Gaming. So thank you guys for coming in. And until then, guys, I will see you guys next week with more of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report.